Let's freaking go. All right. We are back. 3 weeks in a row. Let's get a freaking round of applause for that one, everyone. I liked the freaking audio review, voice memo. I thought it sounded cooler, but, if this works this week, then we'll stick to this. But, yeah. What's been happening, guys? I don't really have I'm parked outside of the front of some random person's house because I'm looking out into the city, to the sunset. Beautiful sunset tonight. I love the sunsets. I'm just such a fan of them. You know what I mean? I'm more of a sunset guy than a sunrise guy. I do my best work at night, and I don't mean in a weird way. Don't catch me lacking, but I mean I'm more productive at night. Just better all around at the end of the day than I am at the start. And that's just me, you know what I mean? I was actually, funny enough, listening to Conor McGregor, this just clip of him speaking. He was he never did training during the morning. You wouldn't catch him dead during the morning at training. But he'd be in the gym at 3 a.m, 2 a.m, late at night doing his work. And some people just work like that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that enjoy waking up early and getting after it. But I think you can still get after it. I think you can be getting after it more so at night than you can be in the morning. But some people just don't believe in late night work because they're just you don't like waking up. And it's I don't like waking up, bro. I hate waking up early. Right now, I'm waking up early. The only way I get up early during winter, I sleep on the couch outside, in my house. So I don't sleep in the bed. In my bed, I'll sleep on the couch and I'll wake up that way. And I won't have anything on. I'll just sleep on the couch and hope to get up in the morning at 5 a.m. for work. And, man, it is not fun, not enjoyable. But it brings in the money, brings in the dough. You know what I'm saying? Brings in that bread. Sorry, that's weird. But either way, so I'll sleep on the couch. Because that's how much I hate waking up, and I know I won't get up on time if I sleep in my bed, and if I have to get up early, and that's just me. But because I'm waking up early so often now, so more than anything, I'm enjoying the days that I get to sleep in, which is good. You know what I mean? Today, I had a day off from everything, and I could have gone to the beach. I could have gotten up early again. And that means I would have been up for from 5 a.m. for 7 days, 8 days in a row, which, is fine. People do it. But if you don't have to, don't do it. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily talking about everything, but I'm saying I knew I needed I was listening to my body. I knew I needed to sleep in today. And I did. And I was still productive. I've taken my dog for a walk. Me and him went for a walk. I caught up with a mate. Just good check in. We're going to the gym now after this, and then I'll edit this and I'll shoot this off tonight, and it'll be pretty good, But yeah, what else has been happening? Not much. I'm going camping this weekend. That's gonna be good. It's sort of life at the moment right now. Since I made my first video, first TODAIRE back, has been going pretty calmly, which is good. My buzz cut, some days I'm messing with it, some days I'm not, and today is a day that I'm messing with it. But I am in desperate need of a haircut because I like to look clean, like to look appropriate. And my barber actually is having a hernia removed, so I'll probably be out of a haircut for a couple more weeks, but it is what it is. If I could get it done, I would, but it's not looking terrible. But it's not looking great. And, it is what it is. But, yeah. What else has been going on? What did I want to talk about today? There's a couple of things I want to talk about. Sometimes before I'll do these episodes, I will have a conversation with myself mentally, before I do it, if that makes sense. So, I've already had a conversation with myself, but I can't remember what I was going to talk about, and that is not ideal. I've gotten great feedback from these episodes, and it helps me a lot just talking in general, and the people who said it relates to them, I appreciate that. And that's one thing, guys, no matter what's happening in your life, just know you've always got a friend in me. I'm always here. And I hope that's the same with you guys as well. It can be a lonely, lonely world out there sometimes. And sometimes all you need is someone to be there for you. Just know I'm always here for you. So if you ever, no matter who you are, if you ever need a friend, reach out, you know what I mean? Because it's, sometimes all you just need to do is just talk to someone and just be around someone. And I find myself more cases than often, I'm pretty okay being alone. You know what I mean? I enjoy my peace and quiet and like being alone, a lot, like more than I think most people would. And that's, but sometimes it can get a bit much where like sometimes it can be the case of like you've isolated yourself, right, for so long, and not even because like, I'm cool for school, but like you've just been through a season where you've just wanted to be with yourself and do your own things, and like all your friends are like, come out here, do this, and then you've isolated yourself for so long that they stop asking, and then then when you're ready to actually start hanging out with people, or you just want to be around people a little bit more, there's no one there. You know what I mean? And it's not like your friends aren't there for you, but like they're not as present as they once were because they don't think you want to be around them, or they're like, oh, Tiernan is not going to come out, he never does, or you know what I mean? And that, I think, can be what makes lonely people alone. And there's a difference between being alone and lonely. Because I can be alone, but I can't be lonely. You know what I mean? Being lonely is an internal experience. Being alone is a physical. I can be alone and be happy. I can be alone and feel like I'm loved. But you can't be lonely and feel like you're loved. You know what I mean? You know you're loved, but you can't feel loved. It never. And that, that is when your mind starts playing tricks on you. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times, I've obviously felt lonely before. And when you start feeling lonely, you go a bit mental and you start thinking like, oh, actually this thing that this person said to me 7 weeks ago might be true. You start thinking like, maybe this person hates me. And it's like, no, they don't hate you. You're just being an idiot. You're thinking irrationally. And the only way to help a lonely person, and I'm talking in the case of you're the lonely person, the only way to help yourself is by reaching out. And sometimes you reach out and the person doesn't pick up on the P's and Q's, and that's okay because, it's not ideal, but it's not on them. But then you have to go, hey, having a bit of a tough moment at the moment, would you be all right for a chat? Would you be all right to catch up? And for those people that like being alone, you've still got to make an effort, you know what I mean? To see these people, see your mates. If they reach out, you've got to do it, because there is going to be that cold winter night when you're like, bro, I need to be around people right now, and no one's going to be there because you've left them. You know what I mean? You've left them on the side of the road, holding their hat out for change. And now that you want to see them, it's a two-way road. You know what I mean? Two-way street. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street, and you also got to be making that effort, because people will give you so much. They'll only give you so much until they stop. You know what I mean? So don't purposely isolate yourself for it to blow back up in your face. You know what I mean? Don't make your bed in a burning building. A lot of people do that. They make their bed in a burning building. And there's this thing, there's sort of like a trend, but public perception that you need to isolate yourself in order to be better. But I don't think you need to isolate yourself. I think you need to prohibit yourself from the things that are making you worse or stagnating your growth. For example, let's make an example of this. I will see, this is the problem filming out in public. A lot of people will just walk past the car. I'm talking to a camera and they'll go like, this guy is fucking weird. I'm looking at two people right now crossing the road and they're walking directly towards me. And they're going to look into the car right now as we speak and see me filming. And they're going to go, what is this guy doing? I just saw a lady do it and she's trying not to laugh. Anyway, for example, me, right? So I love drinking. Drinking is probably one of the top 3 experiences that I love doing in my pastimes, right? Love doing it. Great hobby. Being around the boys, having a drink, on a beautiful sunset, arvo. Nice summer arvo, nice spring arvo. Top 10, maybe top 5 experiences of all time. You know what I mean? You can't beat it. But drinking can prohibit growth. And that's just obvious. That's there's nothing wrong with drinking, but drinking every weekend prohibits growth, right? So, some people, and I believe this as well. I believed this for a bit, but over the last couple of months, I've sort of understood myself a bit better, and I've been like, okay, yeah. So I'll explain what I'm about to say. So, some people would be like, okay, you just need to cut off drinking in general. You need to stop. You can't do it at all if you want to be great. True. That can be true, right? And I would say if you're going into like a sporting event or a training camp where you're leading up to something major, cut it off. Now, for, about probably 3-4 months, I stopped drinking. And I was like, yeah, I am, I'm leaning out. I'm holding less body fat, obviously the stuff that comes from it. But my mental health, when it came to being overtly happy all the time, wasn't where it could have been, right? And so just one random night, I was like, I'm going to go out. I don't go out. Let's just speak about this first. I was like, I'm going to go out. I'm just going to do it tonight, right? I'm going to go have a drink. I'm going to go out with the boys, go to the pub, and see where it takes us. And I had a great night. I had a brilliant night. I had probably one of the best nights I've ever had out. And that's saying something because I genuinely don't like going out. I hate going out. Going to the valley, I just feel like I'm wasting my time. But this night I was like, man, what the hell? If it's like this every weekend, I should be going, right? And then, probably 3 days later, right? 3 days later, getting back into it. One of my mates, I'm talking to him, and he's like, bro, I could tell you had just a great night the other night. I really could. I could tell you just so happy, you were having a great night. And I'm like, yeah, bro. Yeah, bro, I did. He's like, did you drink? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, bro, I could tell you were having a great... I think the reason you had such a great time is because you don't drink that often. And it sort of clicked with me then. I'm like, yeah, that is true. I don't drink that often anymore. So it was sort of like a reward or it was special. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, you are going to have a good time because you've rewarded yourself with something that's good. And I think some people decide that just because this thing is not going to promote success overall, over the long term, I've got to cut it off completely. But I think you should reward yourself with the thing that you're trying to prohibit yourself with every now and then. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do every now and then. Now, because one, I'm young. I don't drink. I still stick to not drinking. I don't drink every weekend. I'd probably drink. If we had to put it down, I'd probably drink once every 2 months. And obviously there's outliers where it's maybe I'll drink at a special occasion or something like that. But if we're being honest, I drink probably once, twice every 2 months. And that's just going into training. Have I seen great benefits from that? Yeah, I've seen amazing benefits. My mental clarity, enjoying being around my mates sober is something that I struggled with while they're all drinking. It's something I struggled with for ages, you know what I mean? But now, since doing it and forcing myself to do it, I've found myself having a lot of fun around them and still being sober. And I just, I think that's cool. You know what I mean? I don't know if anyone else struggles with that, but I used to struggle with it a lot. And, every now and then I do, where I'm like, these guys are having way better time than me. Is it weird that I'm having a good time? And then I'll get in my own head and I'll be like, all these people know I'm sober. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, right? This sunset's great. I love watching sunsets. Anyway, but the reason I'm talking about this is just like, sometimes you need in order to reach, the best possible outcome, you need to take a step back to take 3 steps forward. Does that make sense? So some people would look at me drinking that weekend and go, wow, he's drinking? I thought he said he suffered. But through me enjoying that, right? Where life was going dull. I knew what was happening every week. And then I was like, I'm going to do this. It went up and then back. But it gave me that drive to keep going. Gave me that drive to the break I needed in that moment to keep pushing myself forward and to keep some excitement in my life. Because sometimes we get so used to the ebbs and flows, the daily cycle of what's going on. And I think you just need to throw a little bit of unordinariness in there, you know what I mean? A little bit of, we don't do this often, let's do it. You know what I mean? Treat yourself. Yeah. And here's the other thing I was thinking about. I've been thinking about I've been struggling with what my next goals for this next 6 months are going to be. Now, I haven't written them out yet, which I will, in my notepad, which will be good. But what I'm thinking is, I've sort of reached all my financial goals for this year. I've bought a car, I've done what I've wanted to so far. Let's focus on some more personal goals, like goals that internally I'll appreciate. And that I don't know what it's going to be yet. Like, obviously I've got some ideas where it's like, I want to walk the dog twice a day. You know what I mean? Spend more time with my dog. I can't say this next goal on camera because in case one of my family members are listening, so we won't say it. But I want to, yada yada. Stuff that internally I'll appreciate. I still have a couple goals to tick off, not financials, but like, some personal goals, and not personal like internally, but personally outwardly, that I need to tick off. But we will get to that, and that is coming up. Yeah. What else? I sort of realized yesterday, I was at training, and sometimes with a hammer, sometimes with a nail. I was the nail and all his friends, dude. I was getting fricked up by everyone. It was messed up. I came into that. It wasn't actually that bad. Like, I came into the session. It was me. It was a small session yesterday. It was me, a yellow belt, a blue belt, and a black belt. I do no gi only. I don't do gi just because I don't need to be doing gi. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be a jiu-jitsu athlete. I'm trying to be good at jiu-jitsu. And it's going to help my MMA way more than doing gi. Obviously, jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu, and maybe that's what I need to be looking at, but I'm only doing no gi so far. But if I had to rank myself in the level, I'd probably say I'm like yellow belt, but obviously I'm still white belt technically because I have not done any gi sessions. I've obviously trained gi, but I haven't, stuck at it. Anyway, so I was training, and I was like, I'm gonna mess these kids up. Pause. I'm gonna mess these people up, right? And then, so I got into the training. We were rolling around. Good training, rolling around. First guy got the yellow belt. Now he's similar my size. He's similar my weight. You know what I mean? Anyway, rolling with this brother. We're going hard. We're going hard, and we're going quick. We're going fast. We're not stopping. Both me and him, right? Now, take him down. I shoot him double leg. Stuff's a takedown. So I grab into his leg on his left side, hook around that, hugging that, position myself back, grab his arm, shoot out, boom, take the back in a quick sprawl, roll around, wrap up that neck, pull them down, submit them, get them, boom. And this is the other thing. I ate dessert like 50 minutes before training. I don't know why I did that. I hate eating before training. It's so bad. I was feeling terrible. I was like, oh, dude, it's the warm-up and I'm feeling bad. I had to get through a whole training session feeling that way. Anyway, so wrap up next, submit them, right? Boom. I was like, yeah, I'm freaking good. Now, going to the blue belt. The blue belt's like, probably like 5'7", but he's like 110 kilos, like muscle. And he's like a middle-aged guy. And he's a blue belt. But he's good. Like, he's really good. Like, you should see the way he's just doing jiu-jitsu, like, explain it. Like, just, he has full control. He's dialed in. Anyway, I shoot a takedown on him, and he just doesn't, you know what I mean? I don't even know. Anyway, I like when people, start trying to submit me and stuff, because I like to put myself in bad positions, and I'm not even putting myself in the bad positions. I just end up there because I'm not that guy, you know what I mean? So most often than not, I'm in a bad position, and most often than not, I like being in those positions because I feel like it teaches me how to get out of them, or I get better at escaping them. Anyway, he just dominated me, dude. Like, frick. Any testosterone I had, gone. Like, I got dominated, dude. It was bad. And anyway, boom. 5 minutes is done. Onto the black belt. Now, even though I just got dominated, a part of me was like, I don't know. I feel like I can do it. I feel like I can stick to this guy. You know what I mean? I feel like he's going to be surprised. Well, I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, black belt comes over. I try to take him down. Dude just... Is that not focused? Oh, boom. There we go. Dude just... He submitted me probably 8 times within the first 3 minutes. I felt like, what the hell? You know what I mean? I was like, damn. Like, it was almost funny how easily he was doing it. I'm like, I thought I was okay. And then I'm like, dude, you are ass. Now, I say this because there's a competition coming up on the 27th of July, and it is currently the 8th today. I think I can take the white belts. I think I can do it. You know what I mean? It's nearby. I think I can do it. If I stick to training nearly every day, I think I've been training for about 3 months now. I think I can submit some white belts in no gi. I think I can mess them up. So I'm going to do it. Hopefully. Who knows? I think I can do it, and I think I will do it. So let's do it. You know what I mean? And hopefully we'll do it. I'm getting kind of excited about it. I'm going to talk to coach tomorrow. And see what the move is. He said go to it, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. You know what I mean? Hopefully I can do it, because if I can submit some people, that'll stop all this chatter from some of the guys going, when's your next fight? When are you fighting? When's this? When's that? It's like, brother, give me a break. Don't give me a break. Keep hammering home, because it makes me need to train, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. If I'll feel like the man if I win a comp, and then I'll post all my medals, and everyone will be like, oh, what division you fight? And I'll be like, oh, the white belts. And they'll be like, whoa, what was that? And I'll be like, I'm fighting the white belts, bro. Dude, there's definitely guys out there that post their clips submitting white belts. I will not be one of those guys. Maybe I will be. But I always feel weird about that. I haven't done it yet, but filming training sessions and stuff, because, the people you train with, I don't know how they'll feel about that. So I haven't done it yet, but I will have to do it eventually. So I'm going to have to rip that Band-Aid off someday, but it's not today. Yeah. But this is episode 10. Episode 10 today. It's taking us 2 years to get to episode 10, but it's been a good 2 years. So, this has been episode 10. Thank you for joining me on Trodire. I will see you next week. And next week we'll make it a bit special. For episode 11. Yeah, we'll answer some questions. Hopefully, if some of you brothers and sisters want to send me some questions, that would be really appreciated. Otherwise, this has been Trodire with Tiernan O'Neill. As always, be safe, my people. Have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. All right, adios. I'll show you the sunset before we go. Here's the sunset. I don't know if you can see it. But look at the sunset. That's sick. That's sick. See you later, guys.